Topping your headlines this morning, that bizarre crash in Detroit that has a woman recovering now in the hospital. That small airplane had to make an emergency crash landing on the east side of the city. Witnesses say that as that plane fell to the ground, it hit several power lines and even blew several transformers. Local 4's Nick Monacelli joining us live now this morning with more on this story. And Nick, one person was seriously hurt.
She was, in fact, Evrod. The plane came down and hit these power lines, and as the lanes came down, they landed on top of her car just as she was getting out of it. So she unfortunately was electrocuted and is still in serious condition. The lines are still down. DT still has work to do out here. All of this while we are learning now that this is not the first time this plane has crashed in Metro Detroit.
I heard an engine stop.
Witnesses who saw the plane coming in low across the sky on the east side last night knew it didn't look right.
I was walking up the street here, and then all of a sudden the plane just was a little too low, and it actually hit poles in the wires here.
They say it was silent, an indication of what we would learn just a little later.
The pilot, 18-year-old, was a banner plane that was flying over the fireworks area. He was forced to land. What we've learned, he ran out of fuel, and in doing so, he was forced to land striking overhead power lines.
That's when the plane came down a little too low, hit the wires. That was it. The wires started coming down, flying everywhere.
That pilot has minor injuries, but a woman on the ground is in serious condition. The overhead lines came down on her car as she was getting out.
I look over there, and that's when a lady got hit with the wire, so she was on the ground. And then the man, he jumped out the plane, ran over here with us. They did CPR on her, and she came back, I guess, because they brought the stretcher and the breather machine.
The plane is a Cessna 150L, a single-engine plane big enough for two, registered to a Banner Flying Company in Ohio. Those on the ground when it crashed say it happened so fast. Now back out here live, that pilot released the banner just before crashing here at the intersection of Shoemaker and Cooper. Now, this is not the first time, as we mentioned. This plane also crashed in Trenton back in 2011. It was doing the same thing, flying a banner. Now, that was because of a mechanical failure. One of the rods inside of the engine busted. There was some routine maintenance happening, and it wasn't done properly, and there was a loss of power, so that plane came down then. Nobody was injured in that crash. It crashed near the Wyandotte Trenton City line. Nobody was hurt. It was near a steel plant. But again, the second time it's crashed here in Metro Detroit. Again, the plane is registered to a company in Ohio. We're live here on Detroit's east side. Nick Monacelli, Local 4 News Today.